Hello, this is a new episode of our fantastic podcast, which is not a podcast because we have a video. My guest is Ksenia Sternina, who is. I don't want to spend another 5 hours kind of listing all the things Ksenia has done. Yeah. It's like 5 hours would be a short version of that. So, kind of my personal understanding is that when I think about some achievement in UX or UX research or any related areas or ResearchOps specifically, then kind of I think about the standard, which is like the highest standard I can think of, and then Ksenia is usually like there. So thank you very much for joining. And I think just to make it simpler, we can use a format where I can ask you several questions, probably provocative questions, and feel free to just shoot and say whatever you think. Okay?
Deal.
So, deal. The first one is probably the question that I think a lot myself, and I don't know the answer to, which is, what do you think everybody gets wrong about AI and research, specifically ResearchOps? Kind of how to organize research where AI can disrupt the process or can help with the process. There are a lot of ideas and already tools that are designed to do that, to help with that, with ResearchOps and research. What do you think everybody gets wrong?
I think the most important bit is speed and understanding what's gonna happen pretty much soon. So right now, everyone is trying to keep up, study the tools that are existing, new features that are launching every day. But it seems that we're never gonna be like right in time to be efficient. My understanding is that the only way we all should think about AI is to think about our new future, where it's going to be just one thing that required by a human being is willpower. So as a human being, human being and research ops, whatever, whoever it might be, maybe we'll change roles or whatever. So the human should understand the point B. Let's say right now we're at the point A. The human being should understand what is the point B and formulate it and ask for it, and then use whatever is available to achieve this point as fast as you can, as cheap as you can. So that's the only thing that matters. And then depending on what is today, what tools are available today, what features are available today, just use them all. Study them all every day and just achieve the point. And that's the only thing that will be still required by corporations. Corporations, businesses, whatever you're doing, or you're starting your own business or whatever. So that's the only thing. And it doesn't matter researchers or it's a product management, design, whatever. My understanding that very soon it's just gonna be 1 to 3 roles total with the people who accumulate most of the skills and knowledge and use all the available technologies to achieve. And you need to understand and know what do you want in the end. That's gonna be the most powerful thing.
When you said 1 or 3 roles, let's say let's be generous, let's say 4 roles or 5 roles in total for, as far as I understand, for an organization to be able to build or provide a service to clients. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, so let's say my understanding is that companies gonna be experimenting a lot with this division, because right now, for the latest years, we've been dividing people so much. This is qualitative research, this is market research, this is quantitative research, this is research ops, this is design for logos, this is design for UX, for UI, for this button, the product manager of the button. And it's going to be so much division in it. So I believe that's going to be one value let's say, and then corporation will figure out what the value is for them. It could be a service or a customer segment or something like that. And it's going to be one person leading one product or one service or one customer audience. So something that can be divided but more broad, and be responsible for that. Like, for example, serving this audience, understanding everything they need and whatever corporation can do to deliver value to this audience. And then from this perspective, this person would probably have some skills, and the more skills you have, design, product management, understanding of the color perception and understanding of the market trends, so whatever you can do, the more valuable you are. So you use just tools to achieve the point. And then if you don't have some specific skills and you cannot get them, so for example, you're really not talented at something, so that how the team's gonna organize. So you just team up with the person who has other skills that you don't have, and together you deliver the value. That's my understanding.
As far as I understand, right now, one of the concerns is that machines are going to take over, and like there will be no place for people to make impact and to make money as a result of making them that impact. You are saying that your vision is that there still be some people who would perform a key role in the process. Why wouldn't we replace those people as well with a machine?
We will. It's going to be an intermediate process. In the end, we will. But still, someone has to ask for the tool to deliver, or at least set up a goal. A goal can be just increase my profit, can be. But then we still require resources to deliver it. So still, someone has to ask for AI tools to deliver something with the, and then evaluate the result somehow, like press the button. Would you agree on that or not? But I believe there are going to be lots of corporation experimenting and excluding people at all. Just let AI to decide what is good for them. Probably it's going to be some sandbox where we had like a corporate venture experimenting with some startups. I believe a corporation will experiment with that as well, like giving a very broad task, increase our profit, and AI will find a way. And if this will be, if it's going to be efficient, then that's going to be our next step.
Interesting. Do you believe that there will be still some role that, apart from specifying the goal or checking the result, there will be some role for a human specifically in behavioral research or human research in general, that people can play in that process and contribute to the process, or it's just intermediate and eventually it will be taken over by smarter AI?
It's a good point. I still think that intermediate, yes, it will play the role. The thing is that I believe we are influencing each other. So even having a researcher as a person in comparison to having a researcher as a robot, this would influence human behavior. So for example, we're running right now experiments, some UX testing, and I believe human behavior will change if it's going to be UX researcher, a human or a robot. So from this perspective, I believe there's going to be some A/B testing, let's say. So we're going to experiment with that a lot. Can we get everything that we need to know to do something? So what's the goal? What's the point B? Increase profit, probably for all the corporations. We know it. Can we get everything we need to achieve that through AI, excluding people completely? If possible, yes, they're going to be excluded. If there is something that person can get from another person better, yeah, we're going to keep it.
So you're saying that you believe that there is still some human characteristics that are unique to a human and potentially can be valuable to other humans, and machines or artificial intelligence cannot easily replace that. Again, I understand that it's very difficult to make a decision right now while we are still kind of in the beginning of that era, but it's more like probably a philosophical question rather than a practical one. But in your experience, like you worked from probably everywhere, like starting from huge corporations like Google, your own startups, huge national companies, international companies, and so on. In your experience, what do you think the most valuable and unique impact that humans in UX-related areas brought to the table that you believe that even now machines or artificial intelligence cannot replicate? Or is it basically just a matter of time?
Do you know this effect of observer? That the observer changed the behavior. So I believe this is something that we still, as a humanity, we are still trying to understand. What is it? How does it work? And still, it's just belief. It's just feeling that as a human being, sometimes we can, let's say, connect to each other, build some connection that you cannot describe probably. It's not even words. You just sometimes vibrate, let's say, on the same wave, and you can just feel. So it's understanding beyond the logical level somehow another person. And through this understanding, you probably can deliver the value even without like a huge technical explanation of how it works. You sometimes don't need to describe this pattern. So what kind of behavior is that? You just feel it, and based on that you can do the next step. And sometimes it's fine not to find an explanation how exactly does it work. So as a humanity, we do that a lot. We just don't understand, but we use sometimes something that we observe, and through that we can move on and do the next step. So for now, I believe this can be a part, but it's gonna be very hard to sell, let's say, because it's hard to measure and it's hard to explain. So it's not very measurable, but maybe we'll figure out how to measure it, and we'll find the use cases where we can use it and still be valuable.
Interesting. So basically you're saying that large language models can be extremely powerful, but there are limitations that are large language models. They're not, that they don't kind of include all the human experience that we have as humans, even experience that is difficult to describe in words. That was kind of the words that we used to train those models. So there is a limit of how far they can go beyond what is kind of easily to describe.
You can argue that you can also include not only LLM AI, but other parts of AI, right? So we're gonna have very soon the merge of robots plus AI plus there are so many companies that are building some simulation of other feelings, let's say, and we're gonna be closer and closer. But still there are some things that we cannot even explain ourselves. That's why we cannot build technologies properly in this field. So you know what I mean, like when we're so much connected that we just feel that other person feel. And yeah, maybe at some point we will manage even with this one. So yeah, it's gonna be replaceable as well. But to be honest, I would not fear that. It's our development, and I'm very positive in terms of where are we going anyway as a humanity, and I believe in humanity that we will manage somehow to figure out the way where we're gonna have AI serving us, and we have lots of time, and we can do whatever we want, and we can really switch from survival to understanding why we're here, and maybe exploring space, other planets, exploring this planet deeper, exploring ourselves deeper. So I believe that's gonna be a way. Probably we're gonna struggle a little bit on the way, but yeah, I really believe in a positive outcome in the end.
I like the connection between ResearchOps and then we, we explore why we're here. Interesting. Next question. What do you think is the most controversial, or one of the controversial beliefs that you have that most of the people in the field don't share, but if you disagree with most of the people? Is there anything that comes to your mind?
The thing that I've been talking about for the latest, I don't know, maybe 10 years already, is that researchers, at least for this time frame, for the latest 20 years maybe, when this profession started to develop, is that researchers been focused a lot in figuring out what's their field to deliver, what is delivery for researcher. And most of the time, researcher stops at the point before it's any kind of responsibility happens. So, okay, we studied people, we deliver the knowledge to the team, good job. So now take the knowledge and do whatever you want. And then designers will design and decide how it's gonna be. We can test it again and tell them, is it good or not? So, and again, it's on them to decide to do anything with that or not. Or product managers do. So what? Do they deliver the feature or not? And it's very controversial. From one perspective, it helps to stay a little bit far from the process, so you kind of objective, but at the same time you are not taking risks, not taking responsibilities. And I observed so much that researchers started to get bored of that because they keep delivering these PDFs, and then they started to learn lots of methodologies. So it's not enough. So how do I develop this methodology and that, 20 different methodologies? And then they started to be very specific on the numbers. So, okay, it's not 200 respondents, it's 202. Otherwise, you are missing a very specific formula. And then people sometimes they are starting to narrow this so much, so it's not so they are losing the traction. So why are they doing it? So the corporation hired them to make profit, their profit, and their job is understand what people need, but then balance it to make happy both, because this is profitable to make user happy, to make customer happy. This is profitable for the corporation, and find this way. So to me it's very controversial, and that's why right now probably people gonna hate me for that, but there are lots of researchers that are losing their jobs because of that, because they are so focusing on the being right from a methodology perspective, and the way they deliver is just like, guys, you are not doing it right, so I've provided 100 recommendations and you did just 3. Not good. Without going further and understanding, okay, what's the situation in the company right now? So what are the resources? Can we really deliver it? Does it make sense to provide this amount of recommendations? Maybe we should take the most important ones. So be collaborative on that and take responsibility, share responsibility with others to make further steps. So I believe people who, and there are lots of researchers who will tell me off for that, saying like, no, this is a product manager job. But I believe that researchers who can keep their job, they will go further and do these steps proactively and deliver the final value for both, for the user and in the end for the corporation, because the user will be happy and keep using corporation product.
Do you think that this current trend of kind of researchers struggling to stay on their job or to find a new job, it's a result of an AI, or is it kind of result of some previous actions that researchers or, I don't know, companies or users kind of made in the previous step?
So right now I think it's just trend because of AI, but in general I feel like it's cleansing, let's say. So I'm sorry, people, you will hate me for that, I know, but that's my true belief that for the previous years, corporation hired too many people. It's just too much. You don't need that. And they've been trying to do it in order to increase efficiency, but in reality, the more complex system you build, so you start to lose this efficiency. And now they're figuring out, and they drop in order to find this balance. And I believe it's like in relationships. It's a problem of both. So from one perspective, yes, it's corporations seeking for profit, which is their purpose of existing, the trend of AI, but at the same time, the way employees delivered the value and the trend that where they were going, distancing themselves from the responsibilities and common mission, that's also the why this is all happening.
So you're saying that it's not just AI, it's the logical next step from the previous one where too many people were hired, and as a result, the complexity of the system increased kind of out of the proportion. So it didn't actually deliver the result that was supposed to be delivered. Interesting. Thank you. I think I might share kind of or receive my piece of that hate that you talked about, because I believe that it's healthy for both the profession and the industry as well. Like in my experience and what I saw was that it was kind of counterintuitive maybe. The value that UX research brought was so high that just simple usability tests were so useful that people will start to be hired more and more just for very simple tasks. Like, for example, your job is just to conduct usability tests, just ask people or show them, show potential users user interface, give them a task and just observe how they achieve, list all the issues on the process, like very simple usability task. And that still was useful for the product team. At the same time, to be able to do that, you just need to be able to talk and see, and that's your job requirement. Just to be able to talk to people and kind of observe what they do and write it down. That's it.
Oh, you're gonna have so much hate.
Yeah, I know. It reminded me what I felt in the real estate industry, where, for example, if you want to rent a home, for example, buy a home, you need a person. At least in the UK, you need a person who would show you the home, and that person would be someone who just can walk and talk, and that's it. Like, here's the home. It's fantastic. It's very. And like there are a list of adjectives that are very standard and don't mean anything. So I had the feeling that it's not that simple, but a part of that kind of happened in the research ops partially as well, where a lot of people were hired just to conduct simple-ish. It's still not simple, but simple-ish usability tests. At the same time, that resulted in the increase of the complexity of the whole organization significantly. Like, for example, as soon as we don't have any standards of how usability tests should be conducted, right? What's the result of a usability test? Like, is it a PDF or is it a presentation? How do you present that? What people do you talk to? How do you talk to? How do you leave traces of your findings in the organizational knowledge system, and so on and so on? As soon as we don't have any standards, for a good reason, it's very difficult to standardize, but still, that means that each person is going to do that in their own way, which means that if we hire 10 people, we will have 10 different ways of how people do that thing. That means that we significantly complicated their organizational structure and organizational design of the company, which means that with all the positive things that researchers and research ops people bring to the table, there's a negative part that researchers usually don't see, which I'm guilty myself because I used to be a researcher, purely a researcher, and I didn't see that. I didn't see that to be able for me to operate, I needed a manager, and that manager needed a manager. And my manager managed, let's say, 5 to 10 researchers, and all of us worked differently, and we preferred different ways of delivering findings, of working with teams, and so on and so on. So from a bird view point of view, it was kind of a zoo with all their people, all the like animals running wild and like, doing their own things, which kind of helped with each individual case again. Like I'm not saying that research is useless or researchers didn't do good work. They did. I'm just saying that I didn't see a larger picture where a lot of small but disconnected good work result in chaos, and that chaos can be more disruptive than the benefit at some point, that the benefit that more hired researchers can provide. So I agree. I see the same trend that it's not necessarily because of the AI. It's just kind of we've been in the industry for pretty long time, so we've seen ups and downs because of multiple reasons, and I believe this is one of the reasons. It's not purely AI, like the issues that researchers, research ops people have at the moment in the industry. Yeah, I agree with you. Last question. What do you think is potentially useful thing that research ops people can do to help organizing? I'm not even talking about research, because I agree that what you said basically is that we used to divide people into narrow roles, and I think right now, probably because of the AI and just general trends, we can start to merge those roles together again, kind of to see a more holistic, like more generic role related, for example, to users or to product, rather than 20 different people kind of stacked side by side, kind of to create a full stack of product development. But if we talk about learning what users need and improving the product for those users, what do you think can be useful right now that people in research ops can do that you see that those people don't do that? Like there's this potential, but it's still not fully realized. What do you think can be useful?
So what's the process now? Let's say product manager or designer come to researchers saying like, can you guys help me to run the studies to figure out what these people need, or to test our current idea or something? And then research ops is like, okay, how can we do this faster and more reliable? So let's just find respondents faster. Let's make the video streaming deliver it in the higher quality. So this is very reactive. My belief is right now what can be useful is a proactive approach, and from completely different perspective. An understanding is how the corporation is losing money and how the corporation is earning money. So what brings the money to the corporation and where the company lose money the most. For example, you are working on the product that is required by CEO. So the CEO is willing to participate in the studies to see themselves. So that's where you have to make sure that you spend time of the CEO in the most efficient way, that you must run all the studies in time, so you don't reschedule and so on. But it's very rare case from my perspective. The most cases, it's just the thing that we are studying and the questions we are addressing is not really the thing that help corporation to grow or be stable. So I would really increase the knowledge of market trends, the field where the corporation operates, the way, what part of the corporation brings more money, what can you particularly do to make more money. So for example, you understand, okay, we are earning the most from this particular product because this audience is buying this. Can we sell something more to this audience? Or can we find similar audience in another market to sell them without changing anything with the same language, for example, and find these kind of things. Or the opposite, finding the where the company loses money and help to reduce. So for example, they spend a lot in customer support. So why? What exactly the spending? People that are answering customers' questions, or what exactly? So can we help the corporation save some money here? Can we improve user experience so that they don't ask so many questions, or we can integrate some kind of support better, easier, and so on. So I would say that's the approach I would use if I'm a researcher in the corporation.
So do you mean that kind of increasing the level of research questions closer to their level that basically CEO of the company or the product owner of the company are interested in, rather than just, do we put this button here or there, or like should we change the colors and things like that?
And it's going to be so much easier to keep your job if you're doing it, because even to get this knowledge, you would need to speak with the high level people, and they will understand that you are interested and you are caring. You build relationships with these people, they will know about it. So it's going to be so many good results, not only just by helping your corporations to grow, but for yourself personally.
Mm-hmm. Kind of as a follow-up on that question, can you think of an example of a specific question, maybe like in your last project or your company that you either worked with or your own company? What kind of question, just an example, would be useful to answer for example, CEO of the company, that researchers or research ops people can help with? Just any example.
How do researcher can understand the struggle of CEO?
Or like, for example, example might be CEO would like to understand if there is in a specific niche. For example, there are 5 different segments where users use the product, and everything is fine except one segment where, for example, the usage of a specific feature is too low. So tell me why is it's low. Or for example, compare the usage of our product with their closest competitor in terms of, I don't know, some metric that is important for the CEO. I don't know, time that users spend on learning how to use the system, or their subjective perception of, I like this product more than that one, despite all their objective metrics, like it's faster or cheaper and so on. I'm just trying to understand a specific example of a question where researchers can help CEO, that CEO can be interested in.
So first of all, CEOs don't think about that kind of question. It's too detailed, low level, let's say. It doesn't mean that the bad question. It's just that the level of thinking is way higher. Like, we spend so much in taxes. What do we do in order to change it? So it's absolutely different question. But I can give you example from my personal experience. There was a time I've been working in a startup that is building electric vehicles, like a platform for different types of electric vehicles to be scalable. And I had a conversation with the CEO, and I managed to bring some value. In this conversation, I was trying to figure out what I was studying, trying to understand the brand more. It was a research of the brand, and I've been trying to get his perspective of how he perceived the brand of his own company. And then throughout the conversation, I just brought it as an idea. What if we bring the difference to the market in terms of user experience? What if we will targeting drivers, passengers, people on a bus stop, bus drivers, cleaners, mechanics, so everyone involved in the process of using these vehicles, and build the vehicles in a way to serve all these people needs. Nobody been doing it. There are automotive companies focusing on like safety or style or quality of life, something like that, but nobody been targeting this. And it was a revelation. So he was like, yeah. And then the whole brand and communication and PR turned. So the research being having lots of resources, more resources. So we've been really studying everything. And for example, it was vans, for example, for the usage of Amazon drivers. So we studied the whole way. You stop near the house. You need to find your parcel. You need to go to the door. So how do you do it the most efficient way? Because they efficiently measured by time they're doing it. So for example, we build it in a way so they don't need to get out from the vehicles. They can go to the vehicle from the inside, instantly find the parcel, get out from the vehicle without touching anything, because the door understand that they're coming out, and the door will close after they're out. And all this time were calculated like in a way to make it comfortable and very efficient. And yeah, I believe that's the example how the researcher can bring value on a corporate level, CEO level.
So you mean that all those tasks basically followed the general view that changed because of your input on what the brand basically is and what the direction should be?
Yes, because before that, we've been just doing vehicles. They should be nice, and nice. It was done by designers, and then CEO been just approving, is it nice or not? But there were no clear understanding what is nice. That's how we try to understand. It was a collaborative study of the brand. There are so many people interested to understand, okay, we need brand attributes to send this message to all the teams, just to show them what are we building. Otherwise we don't know what we're doing. And yes, after that, the direction was very clear where we're going. And actually everyone in the company loved it so much. So everyone started to talk about this, all the engineers, all the designers, product managers, everyone followed up with this, because nobody been doing it. And it's just cool, nice, humane. Yeah.
I love this example. Thank you very much.
Thank
you
you
for sharing your experience.
Thank you. Lovely speaking to you. And you.